Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to go over how you can use Canvas Studio to create your final project here in the Anthropology of Music and Sound. Now I want to mention from the get-go here that if you have another way of doing this, if you have a DSLR, if you have an iPhone and you want to set something up where you more create your video from a tripod or something like that, feel free to use any of that technology that you might like as well. You could do something in PowerPoint where you could actually record, do a screen capture, and so forth. I also want to remind you that you don't have to show your face on camera if you don't want to. So these videos will post to our class site, and I want all of us in the class, the 5 or 6 of us still left in the class, as the class has shrunk a little bit over time, I want us to be able to look at the videos and to give some feedback and really appreciate them. So it's mainly for our class. It's not going to be shared with the outside world on YouTube or anything like that. Now, you're always welcome to do that. If you have your own YouTube channel and you want to share it on there, you can do whatever you like as long as we get a version of it posted to the class. So any other program that you want to use as opposed to Canvas Studio would also work. It would be perfectly fine, totally cool with me, as long as you do a video presentation. Again, look over the project parameters to make sure you understand everything specific to the project requirements. We can take a look at them now just to be sure. So just to remind us, you can look at the syllabus, and this has all the information about the project. It has the rubric, the points, and so forth. And then keep in mind then, because I've decided not to do it as a Zoom session, the only option will be to use this recorded option that's due by December 15th. I'm really encouraging you, though, to try to get these posted by week 11 so that we can really have a good conversation. The problem with posting it right at the deadline in December 15th is that it doesn't give an opportunity to really comment on what you've learned, which you know is one component of the project. You have to post a 250-word discussion about what you learned from the project. So let me show you then how you would approach recording this using Canvas Studio. Very easy to do. I have it in my student view here, so it's as you will see it in the class. Just going to click on Canvas Studio right here. So this is what you're going to see when you first log on to Canvas Studio if you've never created any videos. You can actually go to the top here. The add button is only if you wanted to add videos to Canvas Studio, which you could, but presumably you'll do this by adding videos from using your web camera. And again, you do need a webcam to do this. Now, if you just want to do a screen capture, that's fine too. You don't have to be on screen during your presentation. I'd like you to have your voice, and I'd like you to have presumably a screen capture of what you're working through. One thing that might work really well for you is using PowerPoint. You can also use the free version of Google Slides, which is available to you. You also have a free version of Office 365 that includes the PowerPoint program, available through our class website. Just on the left-hand links, if you don't know where to find that, you can find access on our class menu to get the free version of Office 365. So let me just open up a PowerPoint from our class, and I'll show you what I'm intending by using Canvas Studio in this way. So this would be my PowerPoint, and just like I would in a class presentation, I would walk through the PowerPoint and I would move from slide to slide and talk about the information. So this is where you could have all your information laid out for your project. Now that information could include videos, it could include audio. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. If you want to walk us through websites or research, however you design your project, it might be great to organize it via PowerPoint. Then, as you're going through PowerPoint, you would want to click on the record button prior to starting your presentation. So when you first get to this stage, click on record, and I would recommend you click on screen capture, and it will always ask you if you want to include your little mini video of your face as well from your webcam. This is the point where you have to allow permissions. Once you hit allow, it will load up the interface for the recording. This is that point where on a Mac it's asking me to download that software. And actually it just jumped off that, but I think it recognized I already had it. So because I've chosen the screen option, it allows me to pick the webcam. Here, if I want, I could customize my webcam camera, and I can choose where I want the webcam to appear. So I maybe don't want a big version of that. I'll just go with a little version. And that will then appear in your final video. And then this is where I would adjust where my capture frame is going to be. So if I want it a little bigger to get my full PowerPoint screen, I would basically make that a little wider, the width and the height wider. There are some settings up here. So on this point here, you want to make sure that you have the right audio set up. Again, for your narration, it's very easy. Select your microphone there. If I just want the screen and no webcam, click screen. If I just want the webcam, which I wouldn't recommend, I'd click that. If I want both, I'd click on both. The size, I definitely recommend on this that you try to go for 1080p or higher. It's just a little better quality. You can also do for 1440. It should work just fine. Don't go into the lower resolutions like 720p or 480 because it's pretty grainy. Once you do this, you can also click on any preferences here that I don't think are really necessary for this. It's just kind of customizing if you're doing a lot of recordings in Canvas Studio. So I can hit OK there. And then I'm just going to click on that red button there, and it'll give me a countdown timer of 3, 2, 1. And tells me to go. As long as I see this red bar, this dashed bar along the outline of what I'm capturing on the screen, I know that it is recording. So what I would do at this point is I'd pull my PowerPoint up, and then as long as, again, my PowerPoint is within the frame, whatever my screen is here, I can kind of frame it here a little bit. And even though I'm not in the actual PowerPoint slide view, it's very easy to go through this. And in fact, if you put it in the slide view under View Slideshow, you sometimes won't crop it well, because what will happen is it might take up the full screen, and maybe you won't be allowed to crop in such a way that you can have the full screen. So you can kind of just decide on this, but I like to just do it using the regular slide view, which you can see the slides are here, even though I'm not hitting Start Slideshow. I just kind of frame it so I get it fairly much in the center. And as I'm going through my presentation, I just use my arrow keys and I would talk through my project. If I'm coming up to a point where I want to play a video, I can have that video actually linked inside of my PowerPoint, and I'll click on that link, or I could externally find whatever I want to play, like this video here, hit play on it, and then I can even talk on top of that if I want. So you have a lot of options here. Anything that you can show on the screen, you can capture using the screen capture device here within Canvas Studio. So once I'm done with that, what I would do is I could hit pause here, and then I can click done. And then at that point, it'll ask me if I want to upload it. I can give it a title. And once I do that, I won't do it here, it'll take a second. I hit upload, and then that is going to be saved to my Canvas Studio. Then the next time I log in, I'm just going to delete that, the video will appear here. So it's pretty easy to use. So again, my recommendation is when you first get to Canvas Studio, you're ready to record your project presentation, click the record button. Always start with screen capture. If you start with webcam capture, you only get the webcam option, and I found that you can't choose to also do the screen capture. By clicking on screen capture first, you're going to get an option as far as what you want to use. I'm going to actually cancel that recording, and it's no longer there. You should obviously save it. And don't worry on making these project presentations perfect as far as, having the very best edits or anything like that. I'm not expecting you necessarily to have picture perfect or video film perfect edits. So don't get too wrapped up in the presentation from the standpoint of making sure that everything you say is perfect. I obviously realize that many of you won't have an option to edit your videos after you record them in Canvas Studio. There are some simple editing features you can do, but I just recommend that you continue to talk through your presentation. If you stumble a little bit, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to grade you down for that. So again, Canvas Studio is really a great place to begin in terms of technology to record your presentations in this class. If you have any other questions, reach out. We can talk a little bit about the technology. I'll be happy to walk you through more of this via Zoom. And in the coming weeks, I'll have some opportunities for you to meet with me one-on-one or in a large group over Zoom in case you have any questions about your projects, the presentations, and how to work on these. Again, I'm looking at around 15 minutes or so in terms of presentation length. You can certainly go over that, Be sure to look at the detailed rubric, look at all the detailed information I provided to you on the initial round of grading your project proposals. I'll be sure to go back and look at any of your comments to see if you had thoughts or further questions. And again, take advantage of some of those optional Zoom sessions that I'll have for you coming up. So good luck with your projects here as you're using Canvas Studio to record them, and I'll be back with more videos in the future.